That deep rumbling. Hello. That deep rumbling in the pit of your stomach, dear viewer, is actually just me eating a bone. Anyway, I'm going to try and step in without knocking anything over. It was poorly planned.
Nice work.
Hi! You're going to have to speak up quite loud because you're quite far away.
Hi.
You're really far away. Why are you so far away?
Give me a chance to manoeuvre.
Doesn't make sense. Hi, everybody. Welcome to yet another purple-haired review show. There you go. That's a little treat for everyone at home. With that and the cameo of the barefoot at the beginning, we're going to get no money.
Oh, no.
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 We'll see what we are going to do. Crack on with our Doctor Who review. I'm Chris.
And I'm not Chris.
Man and wife teamed up to plough through all of Doctor Who in as quick a time as possible. And in a year and 2 months, we have managed the first 10 years. So basically, we're going to get up to the 50th anniversary in 5 years from now.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, God. No, no, there's a gap.
What was I thinking?
There's a gap. The wilderness years will be fine.
What was I thinking?
But we plowed through this series quite quickly.
We did.
Because, momentum-wise, this one just boom, 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 just fires, doesn't it?
It does.
This series just fired along. Now, some might be thinking, Chris, you're a hardcore Doctor Who fan. Why don't you have the Blu-ray set? Because this is the first chronological series to have the Blu-ray collector sets. I'll tell you for why.
These things cost money.
Because they're expensive as sin for what they are, and it's because they're a limited run. That's why. Yes, they're gorgeous artwork and all that stuff, but, like, I've got it here. These 5 DVDs were, the Three Doctors was in a Revisitations box set. Carnival of Monsters was in a Revisitations box set. So they individually probably cost about, I don't know, like a tenner each, maybe.
Right.
The Dalek War box set, Frontier and Planet of the Daleks in, was like 17 quid.
Gosh.
So 37 quid. And Green Death I got on sale for 4 quid. So for 41 quid, I have all the stories there on separate discs. And the box set is something like 60, 70 quid. And I'm like, that's nice. But
Flipping heckers.
no. And also, if you miss any of those box sets, like financially, I could not afford the first one when it came out, the Tom Baker season 12 one. I couldn't afford it when it came out.
Yeah.
And then I was like, a few months later, I had a bit of money to spare, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll buy it now. Maybe I will get it on this collection thing. And I looked at it, and it was already being resold by people for like £400. So I was like,
oh, that's
it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Stupid.
Doctor Who has a scalping problem. So I thought, forget it. Why do that? So that's why I don't have the Blu-ray. So anyway.
Did anybody actually ask you that question?
No, but I just know someone in this comment section is like, why don't you have the Blu-ray version? Well, now you know. But what I do have is the DVDs. So let's kick us off, Lou. Season 10's first story, The Three Doctors. What's The Three Doctors about, you little rum bugger?
I can't remember, but it's got Paddy Troughton in.
Wow, you've been paying attention.
That was ages ago. That was like 2 weeks ago. No, I'm joking. You'll have to remind me though.
Shit's going down. The Time Lords need to deal with it. Specifically, there is a creature on Earth as well that seems to be like zapping stuff out of existence and is barely visible. It's like this invisible creature of sorts that is made of antimatter. And it seems to be after the Doctor. Something's going to shit. The Time Lords bring the Doctor in to discover more, but they think he's going to need help. So they interrupt the time stream of his previous 2 incarnations so that they can team up. It doesn't go quite as to plan.
It's a bit more complicated than they thought.
Yeah, the second Doctor.
Sorry about this sound.
Oh.
It's Doctor Who related.
Is it?
No. Oh, Vicky!
Is that for me? Thank you very much.
No, give it back right now. Oh.
So the first Doctor gets stuck in a time eddy. Because Bill Hartnell was not healthy enough really to shoot, but he really wanted to be a part of it, so they found a way to make him be in the story. But it does mean that Patrick comes back for this story! Lucy's favourite classic series Doctor has return Ed, Pat Troughton for the Three Doctors. So, yeah.
I'm going to say something controversial now.
Hit me.
He's my favourite Doctor.
He's your favourite Doctor?
My favourite.
Really? Mm. That is fascinating, because you are, clear it up for the viewers who might not have paid attention to Step 1. Who was your Doctor, traditionally?
David Tennant.
DT, the big DT.
Yeah.
What's turned you around? What's turned you around to Paddy? Little Paddy T.
I don't know. I may change my mind as I'm revisiting things. Revisiting. I've not watched any of these. Revisiting the later series.
Right. What's it? What are you on about?
I don't know. I just think he's so funny, so charming, so awkward, and I can relate.
Because
He's like a puppy.
Because you're a cosmic hobo.
And do you know what? If I could be, I would be.
Fair enough.
Don't judge me.
So, how chuffed were you to see him back for this box set of dreams?
Very, very truffed.
Truffed. Is that chuffed by Troughton? I was truffed.
Oh, what's happening? Yeah, I was happy.
This is the first instance of this ever happening in the show.
You see him in colour.
Yeah, he's in colour. You see him in glorious Technicolor. And Bill. Wasn't I see Bill in colour?
Yeah.
This is the first time as well they ever do sort of a multi-Doctor idea, the idea of several of them being in the same place. It was for the 10th anniversary of the show, which was later in the year. This was the 10th anniversary year. So that all itself is unique. It also sets the idea that he may be the same man, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get on with himself.
Mm-hmm. He's the same man, but not the same Doctor.
He is me. Oh, no, you don't. You see, I am... He is me, and I am him. And we are the walrus, goo 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 choo.
Oh, Jim.
What? The Beatles. A song by the Beatles. Oh, is it? How does it go?
So
The recorder is a main plot point.
Yay!
Throughout the whole episode, the recorder is a main plot point. The recorder turns out to be a MacGuffin, which is fantastic.
If there were any negative things about Troughton's run, is that there was not enough recorder.
Well, it gets a plot all to itself
And
in
that
Three
makes
Doctors.
me happy.
The scheme that's going ahead with the Time Lords under siege and these horrible blobby monsters made of antimatter and everything. Antimatter! Turns out all of it is the product of a scheme by one of the oldest Time Lords, the creator of time travel, the one who was in the middle of the cataclysm or whatnot that created the technology that allowed them to understand time travel, but that as a result he got trapped in a world of antimatter, trapped out of our reality. And his name is?
Wiggly Worm.
You totally know this. What?
The Master? What am I talking about? I don't know. Tell me.
Kidding me?
Oh, God! Oh, is it Omega?
Yes! Oh my god!
Sorry, my brain switched off then.
You see,
I'm not really listening.
you never get him on the first try. It's never Omega. So,
I'm really sorry, I was concentrating really hard on my biscuit.
no you weren't, you're on your phone. Put your
I'm
phone down. These people
I'm
are tuned in for
I'm
your
looking
opinions.
for something relevant.
Are you?
Yes. I am, sir. What are you looking at me on?
I'm looking at it like that because I can't see me on camera.
What a horrid sound.
So, yeah. Omega is behind it all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to take the might of the combined mind of the Doctor and the Doctor, with some assistance from the Doctor, to stop it. Because Omega, it turns out, is only alive purely because of his own will. The only thing that's kept him surviving in this plane of non-existence, where if you stay there too long, you don't exist anymore, is his own will is the thing that's kept him going. Because, even when they remove his helmet...
That was good, that.
There is sod all.
No!
It's never Omega! There's sod all inside. He is an empty being. He's held together simply by his own mind, which is so cool. And it's a great shot, isn't it? It's a great reveal shot.
Yeah, definitely.
Proper spooky. So, yeah. Love the little Omega there. I love Omega. What do you think of Omega as a villain?
Really good. Really... It was quite a boo-hiss villain, I thought. Because he definitely looked it.
Yeah, I think he's very old school Universal monster as well, because he's very tragic. He's very Phantom of the Opera, kind of like contained to a prison, somewhat of his own making.
Omega.
He feels that everybody from his people, everyone who's benefited from him since, is like they've reaped the glory of his creation and left him behind, because he sees it as though he's been abandoned. They're like, no, we tried to find a way to you, but like, it's impossible. He's like, you could have found a way, you just didn't care. You've left me here. I hate you all. I'm going to kill you all. I'm going to come back and I'm going to unwrite existence and eat your porridge and delete your favourite album off your iPod.
Omega. No.
So we liked Omega.
Yeah.
Would you like to see Omega again?
Yeah.
You're like, how though?
How?
You see him again. There's also the Brigadier's reaction to there being multiple Doctors is great.
Wonderful.
Because he just doesn't believe it, does he? He thinks the Doctor's playing a trick on him.
Yeah.
He sees Troughton, he's astounded, and then he's like, right, how did you do it? How have you changed your looks again? This is ridiculous. Stop tinning around. Stop messing around, Doctor. I shall strike you with my good hand.
I don't think he said that.
He basically does. I love how Benton's just completely found it immediately. He's like, oh, it's you! And he gets it. He's like, it's the older Doctor. No, Brick, it is him. Like, it's the guy we met before.
How is Benton so open to these things? But Brigadier, even though the Brigadier seemed more...
The Brigadier's very stuck in his ways, though, isn't he? Let's
What
be
about
honest.
Benson, though?
Right, so, several times... Now, you have mistaken Benton's name for Benson,
Yeah.
which has resulted in a recurring joke while we've been watching, that there are two Bentons, Benton and Benson. And every time he comes on screen and someone says his name, you turn to me and go, actually, that's Benson. It's the most irritating thing, and I want a divorce.
Whoa! That was drastic.
From Benson.
That was drastic.
I want a divorce from Benson. That was terrible. Story too early.
Sorry.
But the Brigadier's reaction is great. I love it.
Yeah, because there's a moment where they've all got to rush into the TARDIS, isn't there? And the
There's two Doctors and he's just not
and the
quite...
Brigadier's like, well, I realise I'm not on camera doing this.
Do it, lean in!
No. He's just like, what? I don't understand. And they got to drag him into the TARDIS.
Yeah, oh no, yes, he sees the third Doctor again, he's like, what, huh? Because he's not seen him all story.
He's very cute.
What did you think of the antimatter beasts, the creatures, the bubbly things? Pretty freaky looking, right?
Very creepy.
Ruined when they're running across a field and you see human feet
Little feet.
shuffling them around.
Good effort, guys.
Good effort, good work, team, good work. Well, the designs are cool, and I like Omega's lair.
B-.
P+. I like Omega's lair, I think his lair is really cool.
It is. That helmet, though, I mean, his costume is fantastic.
It's great. Well, if you love his costume, then you'll hate it when you see him again.
Why has it changed?
It's a very different costume.
But it looks awesome. That looks very Aztec-y, ancient.
Yeah, it's got. I mean, his helmet looks like a goddamn pyramid or a headdress. Yeah, no, the next version of Omega is pretty terrible looking. But you're not going to see him again until the 20th year. The 20th year of the show, the Five Doctors comes out, and then the series either before or after that, every story features a classic villain.
Right.
It's like, let's celebrate, let's have a victory lap. That's where you get the return of the Silurians and the Sea Devils in one of the worst stories ever.
Oh no.
You get a Dalek story. They revisit old stuff.
I look forward.
Including Omega.
Yes.
So yeah.
It's never Omega.
But it was, twice.
Oh.
Billy Hartnell. It's the last time he played the role, and the last acting role he played before he passed away.
Oh, Billy.
The lovable old xenophobe. He was not well enough to do it, but his wife saw how happy it made him because he'd been sent the script and the story ideas to read over, and he was really happy to do it. He really wanted to do it, so they found a way. The first Doctor gets stuck in a time eddy. Which means he can only assist them through video call while he's trying to get out of it.
His little pyramid of time.
So he talks to the Time Lords and gives them a bit of an earache, and he...
Because he's adorable.
And he there's this whole thing in Doctor Who, which is really good, and they kind of acknowledge it a bit, that the first Doctor, the older Doctors, they're the elder statesmen of the show to the viewer. But in universe, they're technically the moody teenager, younger, doesn't know much Doctor.
Oh yeah, that's a weird way of thinking
which
about
is
it.
kind of great because the show kind of finds a way around that by later on. I think it's in the Day of the Doctor actually, where he talks about Tennant or Smith talk about you get old, your head gets muddled, it gets too full of stuff. So, in universe, the Doctor kind of respects his older self, his younger selves, as it were.
Yeah.
Older incarnations, younger selves.
Yeah.
He respects them because they're sort of less crowded, they're less befuddled by stuff. You know what I mean? They've not been worn out yet. So it's sort of like, oh, okay. And then there's the sense of that as well.
Yeah.
Because as soon as he appears on the screen, 2 and 3 rock up, look at the screen, they're like, hey! And then he talks them down, they're like, oh. So you're my replacements. A dandy and a clown. It's just
Their
like,
faces
oh,
are
that's
fantastic,
great.
yeah.
So funny.
Cute.
That's great. Rest in peace, Bill. Yeah, adorable racist. We love what he brought to the show, and we love the first Doctor, and we have no reason to hate him on a personal level because we never met him because he was long dead before we were alive. Let's leave it there. Bill Hartnell. Lovely to see him again.
Yeah.
Great to see him one more time. That was cool. And also, he was obviously available for the press shots, which is how we got lovely pictures like that. They got them all together. Those photos taken on the same day.
He looks really happy there.
There's a Radio Times cover and everything. It's like, oh, it's really cool.
That is him, isn't it?
That is him.
Not his son.
No. What? His son?
Not his son. Who was it that...
What the hell are you talking about?
That plays him in the...
Five Doctors. Not his son. Oh my god. How young do Bill have that as a baby? It's like, I'm William Hartnell, and this is my son, Richard Hurndall, and I had him at the age of 1. As easy as pie! Anyway, we'll get to him in about a year and a half's time. Anyway, so, what was it like having Pat back? What did you enjoy about having Pat back?
His goofiness I missed. And it makes you realise that John is a really good doctor. He's properly got his head on his shoulders, and he can think of a way to fix the problem really quick. Whereas Paddy's a bit like flustery,
takes a tiny bit longer,
and he just makes it up on the spot. Whereas John is like he plans things. He knows what's right and what's wrong, and it was just nice to see those two contrasting personalities working together to fix the issue. And it was the recorder all along.
And the Third Doctor having a mind battle with Omega's brain creature, whatever it was, in slow-mo. And also Jo. Jo is the first companion to react to multi-doctors, and she's so good in this. Katie Manning is great in this.
Katie Manning.
We'll get to Katie Manning as we go, because we have a lot to say about Katie Manning. 3 Doctors. It's our first anniversary story. Did you like it?
Yes.
Cool, because I really like this. I think this is the best of the multi-Doctor stories.
Crazy. Yeah, those squidgy brain things were gross.
The old squidgy brain thing. That's my favourite multi-Doctor story, so I'm so glad you enjoyed that.
I love Patrick Troughton.
Paddy T. Well, he's got to go now. Bye, Pat.
Can I hold him?
You want?
For posterity.
Do you want to hold him in your arms? Yeah. Carnival of Monsters! So this is the miniscope. This is Vogue. This travelling carnival. What I love about this episode is it basically takes place in the terminal of a space airport, essentially.
Yeah.
We've arrived here in this society of very, like... This is the point, especially with the last series, all Peladon and everything, this is the point where the aliens, they start to really enjoy the characterisation of making them a little more cartoony and a little less uniform.
Yeah.
So, like, these guys
giving them actual personalities.
Yeah. Do you know who these guys, I think, are probably a direct inspiration for, they remind me of? I can't remember his name now, but the guy who's in charge of the ceremonies in The End of the World. The Chris Eccleston second episode, the one who's in charge of getting all the guests together. She's very, very fussy, very kind of like bureaucratic, needs to get the job done, otherwise you get bollocked by his superiors, and he's a snooty character. Like, all the guys in this were kind of like that. Of course, one of them was planning to... It was the brother of the president, wasn't he? He was planning to sort of use his jurisdiction to prove that his brother was an idiot, and they needed to do things his way by the book. Because essentially it's about immigration, and it's about customs and shipping, and well, specifically about sort of exports and things like that. Because Vogue and his assistant, they are hoping to bring the miniscope to travel, and they're travelling entertainers. And their entertainment is the miniscope, a device which contains forcibly miniaturized species from different worlds contained within a time loop in their own setting, essentially.
Like a space diorama.
Yeah, it's a space zoo that's stuck in a loop. Yeah. So there are people from Earth on a boat that notoriously went missing.
Yeah.
At one point, and they are living like the same 20 minutes in a loop, and they don't know it. And there's the field full of the carnivorous DRASHIGS, which are the most fearsome things in their collection. We see that they've got Ogrons in there.
Sorry, what?
Ooglies. We see they've got Ogrons in there, who I think, aside from like the Daleks and the Cybermen, the Ogrons seem to be the first recurring alien, regardless of whether they are part of the story or not. They seem to be the first ones to get like some continuity.
Maybe the costume.
I mean, DRASHIGS get referenced a lot in the next story as well. Like, there's a carrying on thing, and the next story which has Ogrons in it.
Maybe the Ogrons. Sorry, I mean Ooglies costumes were really expensive, so they had to make.
They do look great.
Yeah, they do.
Mini. But yeah, the reason why the story happens is because the TARDIS materialises inside the miniscope. Because now, after the events of Three Doctors, the Time Lords give the secret of the TARDIS back to the Doctor. You can travel.
Yay! Because he suddenly remembers how to do it, doesn't he?
Well, that's how it works. Yeah, they sort of give it back to him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my god, I know how to fly the TARDIS.
He was super casual about it, though.
I think it's because it was more... By this point, he's in a routine with Joe.
Yeah.
Like, he likes being with Joe and doing stuff with UNIT.
I'd like being with Joe.
And he didn't like the fact the last few times he was free temporarily, being sent around by the Time Lords at their request.
Yeah, doing
Some kind of galactic yo-yo.
Yeah, doing their bidding.
So, I guess it's more a case he's building up to it. And over the course of the series, you do see him doing little minor repairs to it. It's like he's preparing her for a big flight.
Yeah. Warming her up again.
He talks quite a bit throughout this series about visiting Metabolus 3, because he wants to show Joe these wonderful sapphires that you can find in Metabolus. I think this is the first episode where he mentions it, isn't it? He's like, you can go to Metabolus, it's going to be great. She's like, cool, mate. Dab, dab, dab. Because that's definitely what Joe says. Dab, dab, dab.
Yes, Borg sniff.
Borg sniff, dab, dab. And then she dabbed. So...
Can you people please tell, Christopher, that dabbing is not cool? It never
I know it's not cool.
It never has been. You're an embarrassing dad before we've even had children.
Exactly.
God.
So they end up in the miniscope, specifically on the ship.
Yeah.
The Earthling story. They get caught as stowaways. The captain of the ship is a character played by Ian Marter, who we will see again in a couple of series as Harry Sullivan.
Cute.
Short-lived but a very, very memorable companion of the Fourth Doctor.
I'm losing track of all these companions.
But it's great because they're sort of treated as stowaways, Joe and the Doctor, and then they reset. And it's like, oh, all right. This has some of the most visually interesting ideas in the show to date. And it reminded me a lot, and we talked about this, of the Keys of Marinus. Or the Chase.
Yeah, the Chase.
Where they kept going to different places.
Yeah.
It's like in this one you had the boat, you had the steam room of the engine room of the boat underneath.
Yeah.
And then you had them crawling around inside the machine before they realise that's what they're in. Like, the Doctor's like, this all seems familiar. That seems like a giant, battery of some kind.
Yeah.
This seems like a regulator. This is odd. And it's only, of course, later on he's like, oh my god, we are in a machine. And we're shrunk down. It's when a hand comes in and takes the TARDIS.
Whoa, yeah.
Which is such a cool visual. Because Vogue's like, oh, there's some random object in there. It started playing about with it. The peril of this story comes from the fact that the miniscope might get destroyed by the authorities.
Yeah.
And they tried to destroy it a couple of times. What's it called? That machine's got it. It's like
laser.
It's like the Destroyer-nator. It's really daft like that. And it's like, oh my god, please don't blow it up. But the other danger comes from if anything gets out of the miniscope, within 5 seconds it begins to expand back to its proper size.
Yeah.
So the danger really grows when the DRASHIGS environment gets broken and they start to smash into the machinery.
Yeah.
Which is such a cool visual. The DRASHIGS get a bit of stick now because this wonderful toy, awkward, looks really so cute. Happy and cute.
It's cute.
But that is stretched longer and has gnarlier teeth in the episode.
See, I was just picturing when they were like maybe going to escape out of the bottom of the machine. I was just picturing little DRASHIGS like that going dee 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 outside of the thing. It just made me chuckle.
They're adorable.
But Jo was really scared of them, wasn't she?
Well, you would be, wouldn't you? Giant tarantula. Especially because at the start of the story, the Earth boat gets attacked by like a plesiosaur or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what the hell?
The Kraken! Nessie. Other sea creatures. Squids and that. Yeah, it was quite...
Was Shima the assistant?
The what? Oh,
Nick
yeah.
Schumer's nemesis involving Schumer.
The Boppers.
They were great.
They were.
They were really cool.
Because it was obvious that he was one of them carnival people that it's all a bit of a scam.
Mm.
And he doesn't really know what he's doing.
Well, they got there on the recommendation, supposedly, of a president of one of the colony planets.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? And it basically, no, the recommendation, the clearance they were given was by, like, a carnival strongman or something who has the same name as the president, so that was their excuse. He's like, that is great. I really enjoy Carnival of Monsters a lot. I think the ticking time bomb element of the last couple of episodes works really well. Because you're like, oh my god, like, the DRASHIGS are going to break out and kill everyone!
It is maybe a little bit too long, though.
Is it? It's only a 4-parter.
I know, still.
Wow, we've got to the point where even 4-parters are making you impatient. You, sir, are a television snob. What do you have to say to yourself?
Say to myself?
Yeah, what do you have to say to yourself?
Well, hello Lucy, how are you?
And what do you say back?
I'm great, thanks, how are you?
We saw the sequel to this. We went to see Doctor Who live in 2010.
That we did.
Which was a concert tour featuring Nigel Planner playing a travelling space carnival ringmaster called Vorgensen. Clues in the name, where he had, I think it was called the macroscope, and the idea was that it was whole worlds shrunk down into the machine or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And he was demonstrating the monsters that he had, because his idea was like, I've got the scariest monsters in all of the cosmos.
And he did, he had those scary,
for
those scary guards that could turn their faces.
Smilers.
Yeah.
Well, because it was tied into the Series 5 and everything, so there was a lot of Series 5 beasties in there, like Silurians and Weeping Angels.
I just remember a guy going, Lucy, don't turn around. I was like, okay, I won't, because that's gross.
The Weeping Angel bit was great, because like police came into the arena to investigate, didn't they?
SWAT team.
And then just started getting taken out by Weeping Angels.
See, like, having seen that before I'd watched Carnival of Monsters, made me, like, appreciate it more, because thinking back to it, that was really clever.
It was great, wasn't it? Because when you first start watching it, and the way it was advertised, it's a travelling carnival displaying some of the deadliest threats in all of the galaxy. And that's what it was advertised as. And it's only when you're there you realise, wait, there's a story,
exactly.
And the Doctor's involved, and he's trapped in here, and we need to help him get out. Oh my god, it's a sequel to Carnival of Monsters. Oh my god, Vorgensen is half doing this out of just, like, trying to make money and all that stuff, half doing it out of revenge. And he's going to take the planet hostage unless his demands are met.
Having not seen it before, it worked not knowing the Carnival of Monsters, but then when you do know it, you're like, oh my god, no way! Which is really, really clever and really smart. And I enjoyed it.
It was cool. And I do hope a version of that is released someday for people to see. Because that would be nice. They must have filmed one for posterity.
Smart, yeah.
But, oh well.
I mean, how long ago was that? That was ages ago.
2010.
Whoa!
9 years ago.
Jesus.
Carnival of Monsters! Do we like it?
We liked it.
We like it! Up next, boys and girls. Politics.
Oh man, jeez. Sorry.
Politics. Intrigue. Espionage. Sabotage. The Draconians and the Earthlings have a peaceful coexistence that is under threat when it appears that the Draconians are killing Earthlings on their ships and freighters. Not only that, Draconians claim they've seen Earthmen attacking them. Joe and the Doctor get involved and see something slightly different. Ogrons. Why are the Ogrons attacking people? Why are the individual species only seeing the other species and not the Ogrons?
Because something else is making them see what they want
Someone else is making them see what they want to see in an attempt to start a big political war between the two species that will damage the infrastructure, spread out the military, thin the ranks of their defences, and then when the time is right, someone else will come in to take the planets.
Yeah.
Who is behind it all? We find out at the end of this story. But who's doing it on their behalf? It's the Ruddy Master! In his final appearance, another last appearance as well. Roger Delgado as the Master, who we unfortunately lose in real life shortly after the story's made, working on another show, dies in a car accident.
Do you know what the worst thing about that though is that he wasn't driving.
Yeah, he was the passenger.
Else's. That's so sad. He was such an amazing actor. He was, even though he popped up loads.
A whole series.
It could have, yeah.
A couple stories. One story.
It could have gotten, like that series that he was in every episode. That could have gotten a little bit boring if it were anybody else, but I think he was so...
He's so much fun, isn't he?
He's so funny and but so evil. He was just wonderful.
He's a proper villain. He's unscrupulous. He's violent. He's unpleasant.
He's clever, but also kind of stupid.
He's clever, but he's clever, but overconfident.
Yeah.
He's a coward.
Yeah.
Like, he is a straight up coward. When the odds are the opposite of in his favour, he will plead for his life, and then look for a way to turn it to his advantage. He's great. And it's a shame this is his last story, because it's clear that this is part 1 of 2. This story flows directly into the next one. It's clear that this was not meant to be his last appearance. He leaves quite abruptly. And as we know, with hindsight, Terrance Dicks, who recently passed away as of the recording of this video, R.I.P. Terrance Dicks, Uncle Terry.
Little Doctor Who garden gnome.
Lou thinks he looks like a garden gnome.
The cutest one ever.
If you actually sort of put a little hat on his head, and then put a little beard on his head, and then he's with the garden gnome, Terrance Dicks.
Cutie.
Terrance, Uncle Terry, explained in one of the documentaries we were watching that Delgado was meant to appear in Pertwee's last story. Pertwee, spoiler alert, leaves at the end of next series, and he knew he was going to go soonish. He was going to do like another year and then call it a day. So they were going to bring Roger back, and in some non-too specific ways that it is left up for the audience to make the decision, they were going to imply that the Master sacrificed himself to save the Doctor, and that it may or may not be because they are brothers. Because the Doctor has alluded to, of course, these stories that, yes, no, I do know him.
Man,
like, he looks a bit different, but I know him. Yeah? And it's like, oh, snap. Didn't get to happen. But as a result, we get to see him here. And I think this is the only time we ever see this, actually, to my memory. The Master and the Daleks in a story together. Oh, well, until Missy in Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar. This is, I think, the only time we see the Master and the Daleks together in a story.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. They only have a couple scenes together, but it's cool to see. Yeah, spoiler alert! The Daleks are behind everything.
Daleks, we're behind the DRASHIGS.
They're behind it all, baby! Well, the DRASHIG reappears because the hallucinations everyone having are it's a hypnotic force within the technology that makes people see the thing they fear.
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting, because I'm wondering if there was an unintentional tie-in to Mind of Evil there. The idea of the machinery that sort of projects your own fears into your mind.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Jo sees the DRASHIG, you realise that these things really did shit her up and frighten her.
Yeah.
So, she sees it. But then right, in our ongoing game of the Master is the world's shittest hypnotist, he does pretty well in this one. He fools people, his techniques using the machinery nearly start a war and cause mass hallucinations and political unrest. But even then, Jo's developed a way to fight against it by talking utter bollocks to herself while he's trying to hypnotise her.
And he gets a little bit annoyed.
He's like, oh, it's so freaking funny to watch.
But also trying to stay smooth.
Yeah, smooth operator. This one's nice because you get some time where the Doctor, Jo, and the Master are being transported in the same cells. The bit where the Doctor and Jo are breaking out of their cell and getting hold of the spacesuit whilst making the Master on the CCTV believe they're both still in there. They're just chatting away and acting.
As he's reading War of the Worlds.
Yes. God, it's so good. Frontier in Space is a really nice, tight political thriller, I think.
Yeah.
Like the military guy on the other side who you realise is like, maybe I'm just blinded by my inherent xenophobia. And then at the last minute makes a decision which is basically purely based on his racism of the Draconians. It's like, oh my god, that's horrible. The Draconians are an excellent design. They're so cool.
Yeah, they do look like avocados.
Yeah. Draconian! Thanks! But they, and you can make Draco La Mole.
Yay! High five me for that. That was good.
Woo! So there's that. You spotted as well. They're not just uniform aliens, there's some really nice design choices. Specifically, the different beards, and the different eyebrows and stuff.
Different hairstyles.
Some had different shades of skin on their forehead and stuff, so that they all were identifiable, like very silhouetted, but they had features that made them distinct.
Yeah.
Which was a really nice touch. Because they all got into an amazing design, but they all look the same. Like, they're all the same brute design, and the only differences come from the actors' physicality.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see. You're right, Min. Sniffing Drashig.
You trying the Drashig there?
It was cool to see.
He was barking at you before.
The Draconians getting up to mischiefs. I really like Frontier in Space, and I like the reveal of the Daleks at the end, and the fact that the prison bit, the Doctor's in prison.
Yeah.
Is a cool sequence, and there's a lot to like in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I know it sounds weird, like we flew through this one in a couple nights. I think 3 nights watched. We watched 1 episode, then 3, then 2.
Yeah.
I think this one would work really well as like a 1 episode a night kind of story, just because it is a nice political thriller and it develops as the episodes go by. I dug it. I like Frontier in Space quite a bit.
I thought it was really good.
But what did we thinketh of part 2 of the story, Planet of the Daleks? TARDIS arrives on a nondescript planet, and the Doctor and Joe are being... the Doctor's unwell. He's injured from the end of the last story. So Joe goes out to find help, and gets attacked by spitty plants, and you realise, oh shit, we're in a Terry Nation script, there's a radioactive jungle.
Oh god, yeah.
But this turned out to be, though it's a direct sequel to Frontier in Space, it's also a sequel to the Daleks from Series 1. Because we find out how the Thralls are getting on.
Yeah.
The Thralls, are getting on, like, a few hundred years later against the Daleks. They are now moving away from Skaro. They have, like, military fleets. Very low power. It's very Star Wars. It's very the Rebels, kind of like smaller groups.
Yeah, definitely.
They've been sent out to try and infiltrate Dalek stuff around the neighbouring planets and galaxies to start nip it in the bud while it's happening. Very ragtag. They're all treated as though it's a suicide mission, so none of them ever expect to come back. Which makes things complicated when what's her name arrives, and it's like, oh, those two are a couple. Oh my god, this is about to make things tougher for everyone.
Yeah.
This is very sort of star-crossed lovers in the military kind of thing going on, which works nicely. But they're on the planet of the Spyrodons, who the Daleks are sort of recruiting and dominating so that they can learn to harvest the DNA of the Spyrodons, because the Spyrodons' main ability is they are invisible. They're an invisible species, and the Daleks have decided that because the political outbreak of Frontier did not go to plan, like society's broken up, so that because Daleks could come to a planet and take it over if they wanted to, but they could do it quicker if that planet is already depleted of its military defence because they've been in a war, and that was what they wanted. So now they're after new techniques. Invisible Daleks can do a lot more damage.
They can.
And that's what they're looking to develop. Not only that, there is a dormant Dalek army under the surface of the planet. Tens of thousands of them, the most we've ever seen so far.
Under the volcano.
Yeah, and they are literally sort of in hibernation. They're not awake at first, are they? So it's like, oh damn, they've been positioning them on strategic points throughout the galaxy, ready to awaken them when they're needed.
And it was a good model shot too.
It was really cool. So the Daleks, a race against time to stop the Daleks, learning the secrets of the Spyrodon's invisibility. The Thralls trying to take out as many Daleks as possible along the way. And the Doctor and Joe separate at one point, trying to find each other. Because there's deadly spores and all this sort of stuff. From the bat, this is a bit long for what happens in it.
Yeah.
You could do it in 4 episodes.
Yeah,
this is the first one. This is the first one for me this series where I was like, you could have done that in 4.
Yeah.
But it was pretty good.
It was good.
I enjoyed it.
I thought the sets were good. I thought the costumes were good.
Cliff sides and climbing up the shafts and the Dalek bases and stuff.
Even though is it Terry Nation? Did you say?
Yeah.
Even though he has tropes that are in every story that he has, like you said, in the jungle, and then the space men and women are all blonde and and white, I guess. And,
I mean, I don't think that's a script choice, but it's like, oh yeah, they all look the same.
In very futuristic, spacey outfits. But they all had individual personalities, which was nice.
Mm.
They were all questioning each other and fighting for control and stuff at some points. But
Daleks go boom.
But then they worked together, so it was nice seeing. It's nice to see personality in things.
Daleks go boom boom.
Yeah.
Daleks get pushed off of cliffs.
Yeah.
Daleks get shoved into swamp.
They get their eyes covered.
Get their eyes bloody cut. They get bloody well covered. Some.
They do.
Jo does some acting opposite an invisible character.
She gets a crusty arm.
Yes, she does. Scrambled egg arm.
Scrambled egg arm.
Scrambled egg arm. Scrambled egg arm. Scrambled egg arm. Scrambled egg arm. Scrambled egg arm. Scrambled egg arm. Scrambled egg arm. Scrambled egg arm. Scrambled egg. Scrambled egg arms. Jo has got a scrambled egg arm.
Scrambled egg.
Scrambled egg arm. Scrambled egg. Scrambled eggs. Scrambly view. Scrambly view.
Anyway,
I like it. I think this, for me, this is the
slowest,
the most story of the series.
It's the slowest one.
But it's a good story.
But Jo, she had the opportunity to fall in love with one of the guys.
With Rando, I love you, Jo, dude. She's like,
she's like, what?
She's like,
No.
Huh. I don't just randomly get with a dude we've met in this story and start a life with him.
No way.
That'll never happen. So, but it's interesting because it does sort of show the idea that Jo is, even though she won't say it, part of her is slightly worried that she's going to die doing this now at some point.
Yeah, the peril is too much.
Yeah, but not like she's brave enough to face it every time.
She's a tough cookie.
But you can see that him being like, "Come back with me to the Skaro and we'll have a life together." She's like,
I love you, Jo.
She's like, "Oh, you're very sweet, but no." But you can kind of see on her face, Katie Manning is excellent at doing this really subtly. A bit of her is like, I mean, that doesn't sound horrible.
But I want to go home.
Not with this dude. I don't freaking know him. But that doesn't sound like a horrible thing.
Yeah.
And,
sowing the seeds.
Yeah. Also, one of the best scenes in John's room, where he's in the prison cell with the other guy, and they're just sort of talking about what they're going to do next, and it's the bit where they're talking about like being courageous in war and how it's not easy, and you know.
Oh yeah.
And it's the wonderful line: the whole courage isn't just a matter of not being afraid, you know. It's about being afraid and doing what you have to do anyway. And it's one of those lovely moments we sort of go, God, he's good. He is a good Doctor Who.
Yeah.
He's really good.
That's what I mean by having his head on his shoulders.
Like, especially away from UNIT, his stubbornness is dulled because he now feels free.
Yeah.
And as a result, he's just clear-head, brave, no nonsense. Isn't he? Like, it's like, good on you, man. But UNIT, we've missed them. We've not seen them for 3 stories now.
Yeah.
Which brings us nice and neatly to the last story of Series 10. The Green Death! In this story, Jo falls in love with a random dude she's just met and starts a life with him.
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, the dog got excited. What are you excited about?
But to be fair,
What are you excited about?
But to be fair, Professor Jones is a very entertaining character. He's a bit... misogynistic isn't the word, but he seems to sort of talk down to her like she's a daft little girl a little bit.
Yeah. Oh,
and she sort of is in it around him,
goofy.
But that's the thing. Jo is developed. Like she scientifically is keeping up with the Doctor in these stories a whole bunch now. She's still learning from him, but she is far from the daft lab assistant that she was just meant to be when she first rocks up in Terror of the Autumn.
Yeah.
But in this story, suddenly faced with this guy this activist who's essentially trying to create corn and other sort of environmentally friendly stuff. She's clearly smitten by him, and is a little bit. She reverts back to her clumsy self a bit around him, in a way that you sort of see it and you go, "Oh, she's in love. She's got a thing for this guy. She really admires his work and she fancies him." And okay, like. Alright, I'll buy it, because Katie Manning is so charming and bloody adorable in this that you don't think, oh god, Jo's regressed. You go, no, I see it, she has a crush. This is literally... Because you forget, this story sort of implies it for the first time in a while. Jo's probably about 20. You know, like, she's quite young.
I'd say maybe like 22.
Maybe?
Saying that to be pedantic. So.
Shallow and pedantic. But, the start of this story, the Doctor is finally going to go to Metabolus 3 to get these crystals. And Jo's like, yeah, there's this thing going on in Wales, this power plant, this new company that apparently...
Getting rid of miners and stuff. And
yeah,
I think it was a great episode for the time.
Oh, it was about unions, and it was about fracking to a degree. Not massively. That was more the Silurians.
You can translate that into now.
Yeah.
That's a relevant episode now, even.
Yeah. It's this whole thing about like
environmental
big business
issues.
Trying to cut to the chase to create more money for itself above people's jobs or above what's actually right. Because this company is, it apparently develops 25% more efficiency in terms of its output for getting hold of coal and energy resources and all this. And Professor Jones and his lot are going, look, like wind power, solar power, we are helping try to develop and fund these things. Like, why get rid of that? Why fight it? And it's depressing that that's the conversation we're still having now. But these guys are like, no, we're going to carry on. And then it becomes more and more evident as the story goes on that this company does produce waste. Large amounts of it. Toxic amounts of it. That are pumped into empty facilities underground. Empty mine areas.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a story thing that actually comes back in Arachnids in the UK, in Series 11. Like, the hotel companies bump all of their stuff underneath the landfill, and the toxic waste from the mix of places mutates the house spiders.
Into big scary she-lobs.
Into big bloody she-lobs, you little buggers. Speaking of, there's one in the living room, I've lost track of it.
Over there. Where's it gone?
Okay, so it's, it's... As a result, maggots. All over the floor of the post office.
That clip, by the way, was in Ask the Mortician.
She used that clip from Garth Marenghi.
Yeah.
Brilliant. She's great.
She's my favourite.
And Garth Marenghi is great.
Yeah.
Giant bloody maggots with razor-sharp teeth. When they bite you, infect you with the radioactive waste and kill people.
They hiss at you. They got teeth.
And little weird sort of prolapsed bums with lumpy bits. Ew. The puppeteering in this is great.
It is good. They are big and scary.
John gets to do more of your favourite thing in the world, which is dress up.
Yay!
You loved him in his prison duds in Frontier in Space. You loved him in his going down the mineshaft overalls. You loved him in his milkman outfit. And you especially loved him dressed as a cleaner.
In his milkman outfit, it was very convincing.
It's bloody funny.
That was a good insight into his acting abilities.
Well, he's a comedy actor, a radio actor and a comedy actor. Not yet, that's after that.
Yeah, but I know, like, that kind of...
That's his bag.
He did so many different genres. It was just...
That was his bag, baby.
But as the cleaning lady was so funny. I can't remember anything that they said, but it was well funny.
Well, let's see, because basically... This company, it's a formula very similar to the first couple of series with John, and like the invasion, for example, with Pat and stuff like. Yeah. This company's doing something secretly heinous, and there is a computer screen in the office that keeps telling the boss to do stuff, and they keep putting people through training or whatever they call it, and it's clearly like a
hypnotizing.
Like a temporary brainwashing thing.
Yeah.
To make them go along with it, and there's one young guy who works for the company who's been there for years, and he's like trying to. It reminded me of the guy from Spearhead who comes back from overseas, and he's like, "What the hell has happened to the factory?" And all that.
I did get a big Spearhead from Space Vibe.
Yeah,
really did.
And he's sort of fighting back, and he's the one who sort of lasts the longest until they mess with him later.
Yeah,
and then he gets shot, doesn't he? If I remember correctly.
Does he?
Yeah, he fights back. He resists. No, the other guy resists, and they get shot. So there's that sort of thing going on. You're like, oh my god, what is this? What's the hap? So Mike Yates, because the guy at the company has more jurisdiction. Like, he directly at one point gets the Brigadier on the phone to the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister's like, oh, there's just going to be a waste of money if you lot do that. Just work with the head of the thing, and he'll oversee it, and you can see there's nothing wrong, and then move on. And the Brigadier's like, oh, for Christ's sake. So underneath everyone's nose, the government representative that the Brigadier has to arrange is completely fake, and it's Mike Yates undercover, which is a great idea, because it means once they're out of there, they have a man on the inside who's looking out for it all. That stuff is brilliant. When the Doctor infiltrates the facility, Mike finds him dressed as the cleaning lady, which is a really cute little scene. At one point, they reprogram Mike and he attacks them, but they manage to get him out of it because the Doctor uses the crystal from Metebelis, the blue crystal.
Which he went to, we didn't even reference this, he went to on his own.
Yeah, because like Joe went off to the process and he was like, oh right, okay, I'll go do that. And he's always referred to it as it's a paradise. It's this wonderful planet covered in blue sapphires and all this, that and the other. And then he gets there, and it's obviously changed since he last went there.
Big flipping birds!
Giant,
Those
random
giant
tentacle thing, big bird legs. At one point, he's having a very brief staring contest with stock footage of a snake that's just going, you alright?
He gives good face in that.
Does John? John always gives good face.
He does give such good face.
So, that's hilarious. But he gets his crystal, and it ends up being a focal point to the plot. He uses it as a focal point to sort of bring people out of their brain washing.
He doesn't sing, though, which is sad.
Caroon, caroon, caroon. But yeah, he brings them round, and then he gives it to Mike, and Mike uses that to bring someone else out of the company. Ultimately, we discover, boys and girls, that the villain is not an alien. There's no alien in this story.
No.
The company, along with their guy, developed a supercomputer to help do the workload and do all the calculations. But they realise that actually what the computer lacked in its programming was the imagination of the human brain. So through some technical doohickery, the computer and the main guy work together to sort of share a brainwave.
Yeah.
The computer now has a personality, and the guy is now more cold and calculated. He's sort of working for it as like a semi-brainwashed individual.
Yeah.
But it's not like, I'm an evil computer. It's like, no, I'm going to fix the world. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to do these factories, make all this stuff happen, and I'm going to enslave a shitload of people at top-level management and use them to help make this happen. Like, I'm not evil, I'm making progress. It's like, what? At one point they refer to, like, they say to, is it the Doctor, like, they're going to brainwash him? And they say they'll make him one of the elite slave elite.
Yeah.
Which is such a wonderful oxymoron.
Yeah, you said
it's
that.
It's like, what the hell? Like, don't worry, you're going to be one of the privileged brainwashed slaves. It's like, wait, hang on. What? Which is great. And I love again how he completely cuts through all of it, because he's just doing sums in his head. And,
maths.
And enjoying how dumb it all is.
And he confuses the computer with a riddle. Like that,
I said, like, if I were to tell you the next thing I'm going to say was a lie, would that be the truth? Something like that.
Yeah.
The computer's like, wait a minute, it's trying to figure out, and it can't quite get it. That's when the Doctor's like, see, you still don't have that spark of imagination you are saying you need. You're not perfect, you're a machine, and ergo you're fallible.
To be honest, though,
and then later on it sort of shows delight in the sort of the torture that might happen and all that, and you suddenly realise, oh no, maybe it does have a bit of a nasty streak to it. I also love how vacant it is. It just starts humming and singing to itself, which annoys the guy.
Yeah. If the Doctor said that to me, though, I'd be like, well, I don't know.
I don't
know, Doctor.
One of these doors leads to the castle at the centre of the labyrinth, and the other one leads to certain death. Ooh. Wow, you're my wife, and you didn't even join in on that quote.
Sorry.
I'm afraid you're going to have to go through some conditioning.
Oh my god.
Strap her into the machine and show her Labyrinth.
Okay.
Oh, alright, fair enough.
I love Labyrinth. Who doesn't love Labyrinth?
It's great.
I just don't know it word for word.
Oh!
Or word for word, as the phrase is, actually. I just made that up.
You remind me of the Babe.
Oh, what Babe?
The Babe of the Power.
What power?
Power of Voodoo.
Who do?
You do.
Do what?
Remind me of the Babe. Okay, you're back in the good book.
Thank you.
The good book. The Lord wrote the good book. The Lord our Bowie. So, get away from the cookie crumbs.
Minstrel, what are you doing?
So, that's great. I love the computer. I love the fact that it's a room in the company that's hidden from the records. Like, that room is hidden in the records. From all records, no one knows that floor exists.
Yeah.
The whole room is just these old school 70s style computer banks. But the computer's heads-up display and sort of mouthpiece is this big circular screen with, like,
sound wavelengths.
Sound waves on it when he speaks.
Yeah.
That's a great design idea.
Yeah. Simple.
Best thing about this story is Jo. She goes down to investigate without any knowledge of backup from the Brig of the Doctor. She's like, no, I'm just going to do it. We're going to go out in the mine and find this thing that's killing the miners and stop it. She's the one who stands up to the Doctor a bit and he's like, no, I believe in this and I'm going to go and do it.
Yeah.
We can do better B-list later. And he's impatient because he's like, Joe, I was tired. Where the fuck I want to go? I want to go and do it, you little bastard.
Now, Joe.
She's like, you can wait. And he doesn't.
This is important.
And he clearly regrets going without her, not just because the planet's a danger trap all of a sudden, but because he's like, oh, okay. And you see when he gets back with her in the story, he's delighted to see her again.
Yeah.
But he's noticed that she's very much sort of fascinated by Professor Jones.
Yeah.
And he meets Professor Jones, and after some conversation with him, you realise that the Doctor really likes him too.
Yeah.
And can sort of see himself in him.
Knows what's going to happen.
And he's predicting it already, but then at the end you can see he's kind of hoping it won't. But at the end of the story, Professor Jones, in his massive, sweeping, romantic Welsh way, just
Definitely
flat out
not the 70s.
Yeah, just flat out invites Joe to go to the Amazon with him on his next sort of research trip and everything.
Yeah.
And they've grown very close over the course of the story, and he just flat out is like, will you marry me? And she goes, yeah, I will.
Yay!
Yeah. And it's really sweet and lovely, and you buy it. You're like, this seems quick, but at the same time, Katie Manning does so much of the work with just her face and the quiet moments, like stuff that is left unsaid in the script is completely filled in just by her and her performance. I mean, who's who wrote this one? Robert Sloman wrote the script. It's a great script.
None of those.
It's a great script from Robert Sloman, but Katie Manning sells it.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's great, and even the giant plastic fly thing cannot distract from how brilliant her performance is.
Wow, that was poo.
Except when it was dead. When it was dead, it looked creepy. But when it's moving, it's like, oh, it's not moving much while it's moving.
It was quite cool.
I like the build-up of that, though. The idea of like, right, well, hang on, maggots are just the larval stage. What's
it's
next?
Turn into something.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's creepy. Katie Manning's wonderful in this, and you buy that last bit so wonderfully, and they start pouring out the drinks, and the Brigadier finds out, it's congratulations all around, and Mike and Benton are giving her a big hug, and all the people in the Nut Hutch, all the people there, which is now an official research facility, has been given a grant.
Yeah.
They're all celebrating, and she comes over to the Doctor, and she's like, you will visit from time to time, won't you? And he's like, of course, absolutely. And he gets a drink, and he downs the wine in one.
Yeah.
Waits for a second, puts the glass down, and leaves before they've finished singing For She's a Jolly Good Fellow.
For they are jolly good fellows.
Or is it For She's a Jolly Good Fellow? For they are jolly good fellows. It's like, oh yeah, it's really funny.
Inclusive.
And he goes outside, walks past some sheep and a sheepdog, being a good doggo.
Good dog.
And he gets in Bessie, and he takes a moment, and you can see for the first time probably since Troughton knew he had to say goodbye to Jamie and Zoe, you can see on his face that he is genuinely really devastated to be saying goodbye, and you can tell already that he's probably not going to keep his promise. Like, because he just can't do it. He's lost too many friends at this point in recent years of his life.
Yeah.
It hurts too much. So
Oh,
off he drives. We see Joe having a big kind of cuddle with the professor and everything, and it's really sweet, but you can sort of see on her face like she's happy, but is worried about her friend, and she's going to miss it, and miss that life, and miss being his assistant. And then off he drives, and the credits roll, and Series 10 finishes. And what do you think of The Green Death?
I thought it was really, really good.
When you say it's the first one really in a while, since maybe the War Games, to feel more like a modern day traditional last story in a series.
Yeah.
Because it has a sort of conclusion at the end of it.
How many episodes was it for?
It was a 6-part.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Usually I find 6-parters quite long and strenuous. But this one, it was interesting every episode. Because the characters were so lovable.
Creepy Milkman. All the hits.
I just couldn't get enough of them. The effects were really good, like when they were infected and the parts of them that they were glowing.
They were using the chroma key and stuff to make it
really clever.
To make it look really like radioactive.
It looked really cool.
the big wide shots of the environments where they were clearly just filming real maggots.
Yeah. Ew.
And then like that bit where they're speeding through. The Doctor and Benton are speeding through, like firing off that stuff.
Throwing the bomb things.
They're throwing the corn.
Oh yeah,
there's the bomb
fungus.
sequence earlier when they're just throwing like the fungi out because that's the stuff that's deteriorating them.
Yeah.
Because it's made from a pure version of the land in the area and all that stuff. And
I thought the Brigadier was really cute in this story because he
is in a civvies for at least 2 episodes.
And he
like a suit and a woolly coat.
Yeah, when they had the meal and he was just his mind was blown because of this fungus food.
He's like, "No, that was beef." And they're like, "No, it wasn't. It was mushroom." And he's like, "No," and you forget that at this point, yeah, like we're a pescatarian household. We eat corn probably 4 out of the 7 evening meals of the week.
Yeah.
It was not a thing, really, when this went out. Like, it was not a thing. So, of course he'd be amazed. Now we're like, oh yeah, chicken nuggets, we've got some corn ones, mate. We'll put them in. Tastes exactly the same, feel exactly the same. It's all in the seasoning. It's always been in the
Makes
seasoning.
you question chicken nuggets.
Yeah, in a way.
Anyway, yeah. And he was really happy for Jo and hugging her, and he's the one that took her there in the first place, and just thought he was really. And he said the 5 rounds rapid again.
Oh, 10 rounds this time.
10 rounds.
10 rounds rapid. Oh yeah.
It's business.
That was a good Brigadier, actually.
Thank you.
So yeah, season 10. Jo's gone. How do you feel about losing Jo?
I am really sad. I am genuinely really sad because she's fantastic. She's fabulous. She's funny. She's quirky. Her fashion is on point.
Always, without fail.
And she's so clever. She's clever on her own. She's clever with the Doctor, and she's just grown so much as a character.
I think she's definitely the companion we see the most development from.
Yeah.
Up to this point. And not to say there isn't development from the likes of Ian and Barbara per se, but Ian and Barbara start as sensible, well-meaning, brave people, and they just get sort of more so over the course of their run.
Yeah.
Whereas Jo goes from being a bit daft, but with a heart of gold, to being well equipped to deal with the Doctor's kind of the situations they end up in.
Yeah.
She's not only well equipped to do it, in this story she goes off to do it by herself and is
exactly.
completely confident in doing so.
Yeah.
And
it was nice to see her fall in love, really.
it's cute, isn't it?
And Katie Manning,
She's great, isn't she?
if you ever hear this, I love you so much. I just think you're wonderful. I'm so sad.
Well, you will see her again one day when we get to a certain spin-off.
It's a long way away, though.
That's true, but do you know what we've got in the meantime? A bunch more Doctor Who.
She's so beautiful as well, just want to put it out.
Guys and Goyles, what did you think of Doctor Who Series 10? However you've watched it, DVD, VHSs, black and white version of Episode 3 of Planet of the Daleks, Blu-ray, whatever it is, let us know. What's your favourite Series 10 story? And are you sad that this is going to be the only time you'll see this bloody toy on the table during one of these videos? Let us know in the comments down below. And we'll see you next time for Sontarans, Daleks, and ruddy big spiders. Oh my god!
No.
Ah!